Well, this is going to be a fun video. I'm getting to interview one of my favorite pattern designers, and she's primarily an online educator, which I definitely can identify with, except she is much more with knitting, whereas I am with spinning. And she's definitely, if you're looking for a detail oriented, organized person to learn knitting with. She has a great community. It's an online knitting group and education group called the Stitch Society, and I was really excited because she has asked me to come be one of their guests for her Stitch Society. So I'm excited about that. And so I wanted to get her on here so we could talk about all the details of knitting and what it is she's doing and kind of how she's trying to help build community since so many of us have been scattered and fragmented and all of that here in the past few years, or people like me who are just lazy and are not gonna get out and go knit with people in person. I hate to say I'm that person, but I I am that person where we're just so busy with the girls and everything we're doing at home. Like, it's like I want community, but I also really don't want to have major time commitments to being places at certain times. So what she's doing sounded really appealing to me just as a person and as a crafter, and I'm really excited that I'm going to be part of that. And it's definitely something that if you are a knitter and you're in our group, I felt like you would like to know about. So here is a quick little interview rundown with Jessica, and you can learn more about what she's doing there. So this is Jessica A's, who many of you will remember from, she's the designer who did our Asana cowl pattern with our custom Asana yarn. And I was excited because she has asked me to be interviewed on her Knitting Society group, which is a private group. And when I was looking over what it was, it looked really cool, and it looked like it had a lot of details, and it was way more organized than those of you who hang out in the Crafty Housewife Yarns Facebook group know that it's way more organized than anything we ever pull off. So I figured it might be something that y'all wanted to know about as a fun supplement to hanging out here, because while we try to alternate between spinning and knitting kind of group projects, and we do kind of temporary group projects. I know a lot of people, especially coming out of 2020 and everything, like got really isolated socially, or you just live somewhere where like you're the only weirdo who's excited about yarn. And that was what I was excited on your landing page talking about, how we would be there to talk about, like, knit togethers and all the things that, like, knitters freak out about that the rest of the world is confused about. So I just thought that it might be something that y'all would be interested in knowing about, and you already knew Jessica, and you already know you like her work. So I have hornswoggled her into getting on here and telling you about it. So how did you get this? First off, just what's the name of your group, and what is it y'all mainly do?
So my brand is, thank you so much for having me here. Let me say that first. And it's really nice to connect with you again. We've known each other for a while through our different, business ventures. And it's just so nice to have fiber friends kind of out there in the world. My husband does not get it for sure. Like, he's fine with whatever yarn I need to bring in the house. He doesn't question it. I do what I need to do, but he does not understand.
I forced mine to pretend to be excited about it. I was literally just doing that like 5 minutes ago. I was showing off new braids. I'm like, look at this. And yeah. So yeah, no, he pretends.
Look at all this beautiful yarn. Yeah. He's like,
He humors me. I like it. So.
And so let me, I guess, introduce myself a little bit. So I'm Jessica A's. I'm the owner of Double the Stitches. And one of the things that I had started doing a while ago was a Patreon. But a Patreon is, I think Erin has one for Crafty Housewives, and she offers a lot of awesome stuff through that. I wanted to go a little bit deeper than that, and I wanted to create more of a community, not just put, content out there, but also have a community feeling. Besides being a knit and crochet designer, I'm also an instructor. I'm actually excited because today I found out that my library is going to offer classes again, and I run a group there. So for the first time in 2 years, I'm going to be teaching in person again, which is really, really exciting to get back to that. But a lot of us don't have that sort of thing. Like Erin said, maybe you live far from your local yarn shop. Maybe you like knitting and crocheting in your pajamas. And you still want people to connect with. And I'm sure your yarn shop would be fine however you show up. You come as you come. But, sometimes you just want to be comfy on the couch. And so the idea behind the Stitch Society is that friends don't let friends stitch alone. Yep. Like Erin said, a lot of us have been kind of isolated, missing the companionship, like-minded friends to connect with, or longing, like I said, for friends, people who understand why you're so passionate about your craft. And as wonderful and supportive as the people in our lives are about all the things that we do, they just don't really understand. And so I created the Stitch Society so that you could be part of a warm and welcoming community of like-minded knitters and crocheters. Somewhere where you can talk about your yarn overs and your whips and your knit front back and all of those things, and people know what you're talking about. Single crochet together in the back loop, where that makes sense. And so I tried to pack the membership with as much awesomeness as I could. And there's a lot of things. So as an instructor, I hear Erin's cute little birds.
Yeah, sorry. I always forget most people aren't used to hearing birds constantly. So
I'm waiting for my cat to peek over and see what's going on. So as a designer, I have a collection of patterns that I've designed, and I'm always designing new ones. So part of the membership is that you get a pattern every month. And sometimes that will be a new pattern. Sometimes it will be your choice of any of the patterns in my collection that you don't already own.
Well, that was one thing I really thought people here might benefit from as well. We do have a lot of free patterns, and with the addition of Jessie on our staff, who is a great designer, has definitely expanded the pattern section to be things. I know.
I love that shawl that she did.
Yeah, I'm still working on the shawl from the knit along we did. Let's not literally October. I'm still working on my Earl Grey shawl, but I love it and it's fine, and I'm still working on it. But most of our free patterns were ones I kind of cobbled together, and while I like them and they are popular, and they're definitely, mine are more like suggestions for things to do with, they're definitely like patterns, but like I have to have them proofread by somebody like you or Jessie or Brittany or the rest of the staff that keeps me in line. You are like a legit detailed pattern lace work educator, whereas I am not. And so I was thinking people in this group that are beyond me. I don't have time for, when I was with a knitting group, we did, they helped me and I learned so much from them in person on lace work and shoulder binding, the more detailed stuff. And I haven't been able to really do that myself. So I was thinking that you're just much more detailed, in-depth patterns. And like I said, I'm not talking about Jessie's. Hers are great. I'm talking about my own. That people might really enjoy being able to get those. And instead of having to go hunt them down, just get them magically delivered to them once a month. And, of course, and supplement to the, always wonderful, wacky ones that we have. But that was one thing I thought that might be a really good match for people here, might enjoy having access to.
Yeah, and one of the things, so there's a lot of different kinds of designers. Some designers are fabulous at really interesting construction and things like that, and my area is more I consider myself an educator and a designer, so I always try to put in a different twist on a technique, like a different cast on or a different bind off or a different way of doing things, crocheting a bobble instead of knitting a bobble, and I back that up with videos that show you how. So I don't just say, oh, go do this crazy thing you've never heard of, but I also have videos that show you close up, step by step.
That's awesome. That's harder to film than you would think. I dabbled for a hot minute on thinking, I was I do all these yarn spinning videos. I was I think I was talking to Dawn and was working on some project, and I was like, oh, I'll do it was for a spin a yarn and then knit something with it thing. And I was like, I can totally film me explaining this. I could not. I had to and Dawn, I know, is going to see this and laugh. I messaged her and was like, I cannot. So I definitely appreciate having supplemental things I can just send people to, like I said, either you or her, that do a good job of teaching and explaining, like I said, the different techniques. For some reason, I can do it with spinning, I guess, because it's a bit more loose and dirty, but knitting, I cannot explain to people. So Well, you are definitely appreciated with that sort of thing.
Thank you.
And
That's
so,
so
how much it? So let's see. So each month, what you get a pattern.
you get a
And
pattern, but there's more.
yeah, but say because we're doing. What is it that I'm going to be for people that just love to hear me ramble? I'm going to be in. It's your group coffee and knitting chat.
So you are a fiber friend. You are. We've
Oh,
set a date and a time, and you are a fiber friend. That is one of the other things. Getting to know some of the most amazing members of the fiber community, and you are tops on that list. So it'll be an exclusive member only interview. We'll be live together, kind of chatting like this about some different things. For those that in my group that don't know Erin, in my membership that don't know Erin, she's going to be talking about all the awesome things that she does with Housewife Yarns, with my local wool. I'm sure she'll touch on that because that's a great resource to be part of. So we're going to have a quick little interview. Maybe she'll share a tip or a trick for spinning with us. There are some members of the group I know that do spin already. One of them loves to test my patterns with her hand spun yarn, which makes me so happy to see. So you'll be for a Fiber Friend interview. And that is, we said March 22nd at 11 o'clock Eastern.
Are those live, or are they something where it's like pre-recorded and then people can access it whenever they have time, like after work or something?
So we are going to record live, kind of like we are now, and people will be able to watch it live. We are recording live, but it'll be available to watch live as we're doing it, and then there will be a recording later for anyone who can't make it to that date and time.
That's a good idea. That's what we always struggled with trying to do this kind of thing, is like so many people couldn't do anything till 8 o'clock at night, and that's why the staff ended up doing it, not me, because I'm like, I'm not talking to any of y'all come 8 o'clock at night. So that's nice that people can pick like what time to do it. And so if any of these people want to get in on this with what it is you're doing, I will share a link. And so it's like a monthly thing where you get a pattern, a link to like a class.
At a coffee chat, which is not recorded. That's an opportunity just for us to connect and chat and kind of be real with each other without worrying that like their mother-in-law or worst enemy, not that their mother-in-law is their worst enemy, but those are separate people. You know, that you can be real and talk about what's actually going on in your life and connect and ask questions. I've taught live if someone had a question during the coffee chat. I've answered questions that come up. There's a private Facebook group so that I can offer support throughout the membership, and we can connect and share updates on our projects. I do mini workshops occasionally, and those are also included as a member. If I'm struggling to decide, I love this stitch. Should it be a cowl or a shawl? You got as a member, you get to tell me what you think, what you would rather, and early access to pattern tester calls.
That sounds great. So it'd be good for somebody like just learning to knit, or somebody that already had like good foundation on knitting. But that would be, I guess, where I'm at, like somebody that needed a group mentorship to try new things, basically. So it would probably be good for either of those type of people.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to hear what everybody thinks. And of course, I will look forward to doing that next week.
Perfect.
So great. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything else about it? It's the Stitch Society with Double the Stitches. Is there anything else we need to know about it or you?
No, it is a paid membership. Right now it's $18 a month, or you can pay for a year in advance, and then you get 2 months for free. So it's $180 a month. But the pattern, the coffee chats, interviews, and just the ongoing support from a designer and an instructor, and the community.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know if you were paying for, I know my local yarn shop does classes, and I mean the cost of like a one-on-one instructor, not to mention then you have to buy the pattern and the yarn and everything. I mean, I think that's a really good deal, and like you said, you don't have to go anywhere if you don't live near people, then that sounds awesome. So I know I definitely enjoy online content. Online learning is my thing. I would prefer be by myself and be able to like stop and start it and get on when I want and not be on when I didn't want. So that sounds great.
also in the classroom, there's a Stitch and Techniques library that's growing.
Ooh.
And so every month I've asked members, what are your pain points? What are you struggling with? Tell me what I can help you with, so that I don't just start filming random videos that are helpful to someone theoretically.
Yeah.
You're struggling with cables. I want to help you figure out, how do I cable left? How do I cable right?
Oh, I'm impressed. I didn't know you could cable left or right. I can cable like right up the middle.
Well, the twist.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess. See, I just used to do. I've been so busy running this business, I haven't really gotten to. I haven't been very adventurous with my knitting. That, or it just takes me like literally 2 years to finish anything. So, like I said, one of these days I'm gonna throw a party when I finish this Earl Grey. The Earl Grey shawl for sure, and then I'll have to move on.
Host to that.
I'm excited. I even know where it's going to go. I want it to live in my living room because the colors, like a blanket shawl. Yeah. So, anyhow, thank you so much, and I will look forward to talking to you next week. And I will get this out for all the people to know about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Have you fallen down the cottage industry rabbit hole yet? Well, if not, buckle up, Alice, and click on over to the description in the show notes and sign up. Then you can get ready for the most fun induction into the cult of all things yarn and fiber. This will include, but not limited to, free yarn, free ebooks, patterns, coupons, and much more. You don't want to miss out.